For those who don't know me, my name is Paul Williams. I'm the director of Challenger Baseball for Bartlett Little League. I've been part of the Bartlett program since 2007 when we joined with our oldest son Matthew. And in 2012, I took over the position of running the Challenger program after Ann Androssetti, who is the lady who works in the concession stand, ran the program for 13 years. So one thing that I wanted to start off with here is our Bartlett Little League BBSA mission and our vision. The mission came up and vision statements came up at a board meeting a number of years ago. Our mission is to provide the children of the community the training, coaching, and opportunity to develop into the best players they want to be. And our vision to be the best youth sports organization as measured by our players, members, volunteers, sponsors, and our community. So the agenda for this meeting will be the following. Give a brief description of Challenger Baseball, brief description of what we're part of, which is the Bartlett Baseball and Sports Association, Challenger Division overview, and then any comments. For the question part of it, they could be sent to me via email, or I hope that this will be posted on our YouTube page and it could be put there as well. Our Challenger League has two divisions. The first one is the Challenger Division, which is for any player ages 4 to 18. And our Senior Division is for ages 15 and up. Now the Senior Division doesn't necessarily mean it's advanced play or more advanced players or you're playing like regular baseball. The basic rules are the same. It's just that we're giving an opportunity for older kids to play with older kids on the bigger field. We do give special considerations to our wheelchair players and parents who are given an opportunity to play in the correct division or a lower division. This is not a Little League rule. It's a BBSA Bartlett Challenger house rule type of situation. We play buddy baseball. Each player has support in the field if they need it or to keep them safe. Most buddy support is from the Bartlett Little League, but we have many organizations that help out as well. Each player plays the field. Each player bats every inning. While batting, the buddy runs the bases with the player. It's a version of T-ball rules. When the ball is hit, every batter is safe. Runners advance one base. The last batter in the lineup hits a home run. When batting, a player can use a tee or coach pitch. The coach pitch can be underhand, easy lob, hard lob, etc., all based on the player's skill. We'll play 2 innings. It takes about an hour and a half. Sometimes we'll be a little bit less. If we are less and it's a nice day and all the kids are having a good time, sometimes the managers will play a 3rd inning, but they'll discuss and see how things are going. Players need a glove. We'll supply the rest. In our team bags, we'll have bats and helmets. And after the game, we have a hot dog, drink, and chips. That goes for the Challenger players and buddy support players. We ask the Challenger players to be there a half hour before game time. We need everybody to be more on time, not walking up 5 minutes before the game is about to start. We ask the buddy players to be there 30 to 45 minutes ahead of the game time so we can get the Challenger players paired up with them and get started on time. This is especially critical if we have mainstream games happening after us, or we have on Friday nights 6 or 8 p.m. games. After games going on at 6, we want to get started on time so we get the 8 o'clock games started at the correct time as well. If you need assistance on what field, you can ask the game day coordinator. Typically, the game day coordinator is standing near the concession stand. However, you will have that information sent to you via email and is also available on your app. If you cannot make the game, please advise your manager ASAP. There's a lot of things that go on for us to make our game days happen, so it's not too much to ask for some communication with our managers. You can respond via email or the website. Email, you get an email saying that you have a game coming up, are you going to attend or not. You can go to the website and check on your availability or even on your app. Parents or parents who happen to drive other challenger players must stay at the field all times while their player is there or have designated guardians. So the way the challenger baseball works, we'll try to have the players bat independently, or if need be, we'll have one of the coaches go ahead and help out the player. Typically, we don't have the buddy players help out since they rotate out every week with different buddy teams, so they don't know all the players. So we prefer the coaches to help them out, or possibly parents if need be. The buddy player will run with the challenger player around the bases after a hit, and out in the field, the buddy player will stand next to the challenger player, help with any fielding or throwing. We do have a word that we say is buddies in front. If we have some players who can hit the ball fairly hard, or we think that that may happen, we say buddies in front, and we instruct the buddies that they have to stand in front of the challenger player and stop the ball at whatever cost, and then hand the ball to the challenger player so they can throw it to first base or wherever their coaches say to throw it. So what we're part of, because we're part of Bartlett Little League, we are part of Little League, the same one you see on the Little League World Series, on ESPN, ABC, things like that. Being part of Little League, we have a Little League board, along a KABBSA board as well. This year our president is Chris Steffen. It's his first year. He's been a member of the board for a number of years. Besides the Challenger division, I'm also the safety officer for this year. As you can see here, we have quite a few members. We have a lot of new members this year. About half of them are joined the board this year. If you would be interested in joining the board, the auxiliary board or the 2019 board, you could let me know and I could put you in touch with Chris. The board of directors, at the September annual meeting, all the BLL members in good standing can run for the board of directors. All the Bartlett Little League members present can vote. So if you're interested, like I said, you let us know. Meetings are held monthly and are open to the public. Usually there's 2 meetings a month, the first and the third Thursday of each month. We also have an auxiliary board. It's perfect for people who want to help out without the executive board or regular board time commitment. This could be done in an aspect of maybe coming to 1 meeting per month or helping out with some different tasks for the board because there's a lot of things that go into running the league, and with only so many people, more help is better. We are part of Little League International, which is based out of Williamsport, Pennsylvania. The Challenger Division is chartered under the Bartlett Little League Charter, and we're part of the Central Region. This is the reason why we have the patches on our sleeves to identify that we're part of Little League. We follow the Little League International Rulebook for Challengers, sort of. We do have modifications that we've been doing through our program for the past 24 years, but the basis of the program is the same. We're part of Illinois District 13, and in our District 13, we have actually 5 different Challenger divisions, which is sort of crazy. Usually there's like 1 Challenger division for a whole district, and we have 5 here. With our league and the other 4, we probably have somewhere in the near of 250, 275 overall Challenger players playing in our district. So to start off here, I mentioned it earlier in the opening comments, what a start to the season. Typically, we would have had a uniform fitting, we would have had our registration, uniform fitting, parents meeting, so on and so forth. A bunch of things happened all at one time, almost basically like a perfect storm. Starting off with uniforms and vendor selection. Last year, we did have some problems getting uniforms throughout the whole league, including the Challenger division. Major League Baseball, which is the type of jerseys we use for the Challenger division and for the rest of the league, so we're using MLB names, selects vendors to supply them their jerseys. In the past, that selection has been with Majestic. And so Under Armour was given the contract last year was announced. So Majestic stopped producing some of the jerseys and some of their styles from some of the vendors. So we were expecting totally to be going to Under Armour at this particular point this year. Also, we have been getting using local vendors to get our jerseys, and we had attended some conferences with Dick's Sporting Goods, who could provide the jerseys with the lettering already done for the names and numbers and so on and so forth. And we debated about going that route instead of getting the jerseys, getting them printed, so on and so forth. What ended up happening is that Under Armour jerseys are not going to take effect till next year, which we didn't know. And as we were trying to figure that all out and then trying to select a vendor, we started our process of getting the jerseys super late. Also, what was happening is the Challenger registration or procrastination way later than normal. We started the opening up the registration in November, but getting everybody to actually register took a long time. Basically, it got me, I had to start texting people, are you signing up or not? Because of that, I didn't know how many jerseys we would need for this year based off our total amount. In the past, I would order extra jerseys knowing that we'd have players signing up late, we may have new players, so on and so forth. But being that I knew that next year's jersey styles were going to be completely different, I didn't want to go ahead and order too many. So as I waited, we came into a problem of being able to get our jerseys. And then the USA baseball bats. We have known for a couple of years that Little League International was going to change the rules on the baseball bats. We had thought that it was just going to be for the mainstream leagues. And the reason for these USA baseball bats, and that's basically a specification, is they were deadening the bats themselves. They were going to replicate a ball coming off of a wood bat, mainly for safety issues. So in December and /January, there was a rule that came out in some of the notes that also started mentioning that the Challenger division was going to be required to use the USA baseball bats. We asked for a waiver through our district to talk to Little League to say this is really nuts, and that all didn't happen. I was planning on getting a lot of the new bats and new equipment from the league through our Play It Forward, because everybody's bat who participated in Little League last year was illegal, and I thought this is great. We'll have a bunch of better bats, not softball bats that we had gotten before and things like that. Well, all of a sudden now we had to go ahead and purchase baseball bats, which started off in the range of anywhere from $100 to $300. And if I put 5 of these bats in each bag, comes a lot of money. So all of a sudden, here we are in this situation that we currently are in. So here was the quickly on the standard. We knew in 2018, January 1st, the new USA Baseball Standard was being implemented around Little League and all the divisions. Bats that with the Little League that says Little League and T-ball and are 27 inches or smaller, we're still going to use. We can get a sticker to use the as a USA bat. But all the existing bats that we have, any Challenger players have their own bats unless they've bought a USA baseball one, or the ones we have in our bag are illegal. So what does that all mean about the new baseball bats, late registrations, and the uniforms? Well, with the baseball bats, because we weren't expecting that cost, and I have some slides coming up to show you a little bit of the breakdown of the costs for the Challenger division in general. We asked that all our existing players, if they could use their current jerseys, that would be a big help. If somebody needed a new one because of they have grown, or they just wanted one, we would provide that. Of course, our new players would be able to provide that. And we were able to do that because we were able to get the Majestic jerseys that we had last year. For 2019, the whole league will be getting new jerseys no matter what. even if for some reason they're keeping the same styles, which I don't believe since they're going to Under Armour. And then we'll still have a parents' meeting and a uniform fitting night and everything, so on and so forth, just like we have. So mainly it was initially because of cost, what we had to do with purchasing the bats. So where we play our Challenger games are on the same fields that the regular league plays on. We play at the Kohler Field Complex. We have the 5 fields that are down below, and the fields are named K1, K2, K3, K4, K5, and they go counterclockwise. The big field to the right is K5. The other field at the top on the south side there of the fields is K1, and then the little fields go 2, 3, and 4. Some of the stuff we did our field in general last year in 2017, we did get our dugouts widened in the gate areas, and new gates put in from a grant from Little League for the Challenger Division. We did put up dugout covers for the Mainstream League and the Challenger Division, and based off suggestions from both groups. We updated the maintenance on K1, 2, 3, and 4. We brought back some more fields at Rosika, and we skinned K5. So you'll notice the seniors playing on the large field this year, there's no grass in the center. That was for a reason, because of help with the drainage, we were losing too many games, so we needed to fix that grading on the field. For 18, we're planning on bringing up all the Rosika fields back up to game playable conditions. Those of you legacy players and families, you know that we used to play at Rosika. Overall, the condition at Rosika is better than it has been. Last year we did open it up for practices and a few games, but for the Challenger Division, based off our size now, everything that we have at Kohler, our field maintenance people and support people are all based out of Kohler, so the Challenger Division will still stay at Kohler. Started looking at the storage area to put placed on at Kohler Field. Continue improvements and improve upkeep on the fields in general, which if that happens, then anytime we would have any rain, the possibility of us getting rained out could be possibly minimized. Improve weekly maintenance to reduce the yearly upgrades that we face after the end of the season trying to fix some fields. So from the Bartlett Little League, here's some general rules and info. Opening day ceremonies will be at Kohler Field on 4/21. The league would like more participation from the Challenger Division. This is where everybody gets together and has a little celebration to kick off the season. Everybody gets hot dog, drinks, and chips. Nice family outing, even if you brought grandma, grandpa, aunts, uncles, some friends, so on and so forth. If anybody would like to volunteer to help us out, please let us know. This would be not only for the Challenger Division, but for the whole league. The Challenger opening day will be 4/22. That will be the next day on Sunday at 2 p.m. Reason for the late start, just on this, normally on Sundays we play at 11 a.m., but just to let it possibly be, if it's going to be cold out, go ahead and be a little bit warmer. Picture day will be May 12th. You're not required to purchase any pictures. However, I would like all the Challenger players to attend for the team picture. There's no games this weekend due to our BBSA Wood Bat Blast. So parents who are not familiar with our picture day, just like the mainstream team do, we have a full picture day where you have your player in your uniform. You have different packages you could purchase. Like I said, not required to purchase them, but I would like everybody to be there. End of the year party will be in July, the 7th or the 8th of July, possibly. Location to be determined. In the past few years, we've gone to the one church who has donated their multi-purpose room, so we're going to see about that. But location will be determined, and I will pass that along. One thing that we're going to do this year, though, because of multiple years of people not picking up trophies, we are going to ask you if your player wants a trophy. You can still attend the party, the end of the year party, and the trophies will be distributed at the party. Anybody who wants a trophy but unable to pick it up can pick it up later. The way we do the party is we charge typically like $5 a head. Basically just to help pay for pizzas, ask people to bring different dishes and drinks and so on and so forth. If you don't want a trophy, that's fine. You still can come to the party. And we'll have more information as the season goes on about that. But we will be asking about the trophies because I can't tell you how many trophies we have at our house from multiple years that we're actually donating back to the league for them to use for other things. We also have an advanced play initiative. We started this a couple years ago. That worked out very well. Last year, because of my schedule and lack of able to get another coach to help with this, we did not do it. But this year we do have a coach. Coach Enrico LaPrairie is going to be the head coach for the Advanced Play Initiative. Right now, my schedules on Thursdays are supposed to be open, and so I will be helping Enrico, coaching with him, teaching him what we need to do. Basically, it will be every Thursday, starting early May, about 6:15-ish. It'll be 1 hour. And those will be depending on the coaching help. Basically, what would be happening is we'd be running the Challenger players through practices based off how we would do our mainstream teams, playing regular baseball, no buddies, no help, teaching them how to field ground balls, fly balls, things like this. Now, with the advanced play, and this will be sent out in the email blast, but your player needs to be independent, be able to follow instructions for everybody's safety, and be able to act independently in fielding a ball and so on and so forth. If we have an opportunity and we can have just sort of like an open, anybody want to come out and field ground ball days type of thing, we will do that, but we'll see how this goes. Continue game day communication and protocols will happen for the advanced play thing. Same about rainouts or something else happening. We'll put out a notice via the app and the website. Another thing is that only documented managers and coaches are allowed on the field. We could use some more coaches. We can have a max of 5 per team. This year we've been short on managers and coaches. We were able to fill all the managerial spots, but there is room on each team for more coaches. So if you are interested, please let me or your head coach know. The parents are not allowed in the dugout or the playing fields during the games. They may be called upon in an emergency situation or an issue with the player. So the parents, we need you just to sit in the stands, enjoy your hour and a half respite. If we're short for buddies or need some help in the field, we will ask you, but please don't linger in and out of the dugout or on the fields there. This year we're going to have approximately 10 games. Game times will be started at either 11 a.m., which is on Sundays, 4 p.m. on Saturdays, 6 or 8 p.m. on Fridays. Note there'll possibly be some special times this year, like our 2 p.m. game on our first outing on April 22nd. We'll have some extra games that your players can participate in. In September, we have the District 13 Jamboree. It's the weekend after Labor Day. We may have an extra game or two that may come up against District 13 or a special Bartlett game. We will also be participating in our 6th annual Boomers Classic, which will be July 21st. That is where we play a Challenger game, before the Schaumburg Boomer game. It's been a big hit. They go ahead and we put the Challenger players' picture on the Jumbotron when they come up to bat. We have the announcers. It's worked out very well, and afterwards we stayed and watched the Challenger game. One thing with this, that does cost money. You have to buy a ticket for the Boomers game in general. That's our contribution back to the Boomers for using their field. I'll have more information coming up down the road on that. We will also play our friends from NWSRA teams on May 19th in Schaumburg, hosted by Schaumburg Athletic Association Softball. We'll be playing Mount Prospect, Prospect Heights, possibly Nezra. Libertyville, possibly Buffalo Grove. So we'll see. I'll have more information. Those games will be at 1 or 3. They're not showing up in your app yet, but they will be. They'll just initially be blocked out. We're working on who's playing who at this particular point. So on the 19th, even though it doesn't show a game on your schedule, that will be soon. Just so you know, there's no smoking at the fields or in the spectator areas. Also, there are no pets allowed at the fields or the spectator areas as well. Please do not bring your dog or any other animals to the field unless they are a service dog or an animal that follows the ADA guidelines. Emotional support, therapy, comfort, or companion animals are not considered service animals under ADA. And if that is the case, we will probably ask you to take that particular animal away from the field and put it in the car or take it home. Please do this for my sake. I really don't want to chase around looking for animals or telling people they can't have to take their pets home or put them in a car, especially if it's hot out. Thank you for your efforts for keeping the park safe and clean and enjoyable for the kids and parents and residents of Bartlett. So for field closures, if we're at the field and there's our Thorguard goes off, which is located above the concession stand, it will make a high-pitched noise. You'll know it when it goes off. And when that happens, we are to leave the field immediately. Bartlett Little League requires everyone to move to their cars, and players, coaches, parents, everybody. Leave the things in the dugout and go to your cars. The Thorguard is an activation system that detects the possibility of lightning. Sitting under the concession stand does not provide enough safety. Once if all clear is sounded, we'll get 3 different sounds coming out of the Thorguard itself, and then we can continue playing. If it's raining, we have protocols posted on our website for the field. If the threat of bad weather, we will possibly call a game, usually no later than 2 hours before game time. That's a way to tell the concessions, the buddies, the staff, people get the hot dogs from, and everything else. That will be canceled out through the website, which will get notifications via web, text, and email. So I wanted to go through a little bit of the Bartlett Little League finances for you, just to see what it takes to run the Little League in general. Here's an example of our paid expenses in 2017. Fields and maintenance is $75,000 a year, and that includes just cutting the grass, fixing the fields, reconditioning the fields, rebuilding the fields. Equipment and storage, $20,000. Concession expenses is $30,000. Our umpires for 8, 9, and above is $17,000, and uniforms last year were $14,000 overall. Typically, the previous year they were $20,000. The reason why they were so much lower was for a fact of that we used a lot of existing jerseys that we had in storage that we passed out to teams, so we were able to save some money last year. The Challenger finances for 2017. Which was budgeted. Uniforms was $8,300. After game snacks, $5,200. Game day expenses, $8,600. Miscellaneous expenses, $2,400. Revenue from fees, about $10,000. So our 2018 approved budget was a $12,000 loss. The Bartlett Little League subsidizes the Challenger division. The average cost of per player, Challenger players, is about $235. So you pay your $95 or your $100, and it's costing us $235 to have the Challengers. The Bartlett Little League is absolutely behind this 100%. We've been subsidizing the division for 24 years. It's one of the things that we're most proud of in our overall these years. So this was the budget for 18. Now, because the bats, we estimated to possibly cost us anywhere from $3,000 to $5,000 to stock the team bag, the 10 team bags. and everybody else using their uniforms, which most of the league are, we only had to pay for like 15. These numbers are a little incorrect now. So the uniform cost goes away. We're putting that gets toward some of the bats, so on and so forth. So this will look a little different, but this is a generalization of what typically happens in a normal year. For season sponsorships, Bartlett Little League is a non-for-profit 501c3. Money donated to the Little League helps support the Challenger Division. Money or items that are donated to the Challenger Division will be earmarked for the Challenger Division. However, checks and cash go into the general Bartlett Little League /BBSA account. Anybody who donates gets a letter stating that the donation is earmarked for the Challengers. We're always looking for new supporters. One thing that always comes up is we like to give something or money to the Challenger Division, but we want it to go to the Challenger Division tax ID or their 501c3 or their bank account. We have none of these. These are all since we're part of Bartlett Little League, all this stuff is under the Little League itself. But by IRS rules, if it's earmarked and noted for the Challenger Division, what we do is that any donations get put as a revenue stream in our profit and loss statement under the Challenger Division. So all the money does go to the Challengers. As you see, we start off with a $12,000 loss, and the goal is to make that as small as possible. So another program that we've done is in the past, if we've sold different things of part of the mainstream fundraiser that happens every year. If a Challenger family wanted to sell raffle tickets before opening day or sell the World's Finest Chocolate again, you can get your registration fee back. And basically what happens is that if you sell 3 boxes of World's Finest Chocolate, which has 60 bars in it, I will go ahead and refund your Challenger fee back to you. In the past year, last year we went ahead and issued checks and so on and so forth, and we're not going to do that. Basically, what we're going to do is we'll give you back cash towards if you sell those items to refund your Challenger fees. We have to distribute everything to the rest of the BBSA first, and any leftovers can be used. Or if you would just like to sell the candy, which some of the parents did last year just to help us out, that would be great and not get your refund money back. Donations from employers looking for great causes, grants, matching programs, things like that. We have a sponsor sheet that we can send out. In the past, we've had some of our coaches and parents who worked for employers who gave money for volunteering and things like that to our program. So if there's something out there that you know about or you want to pass it along to me, I would certainly appreciate it and would be happy to follow up on that. And I hope, especially by the end of the year party, we'll have some sponsorship news about helping out the Challengers in 2018. Right now there are some things going on that nothing's set in stone about helping us out for this year, but as soon as I know or we finalize some stuff, I will be happy to share that with everybody. So the Bartlett Little Communications, the league has no reasonable way to communicate with every family on a personal basis. The league will only communicate normal league business the following. And we do it via mainly our website and email blasts from the website. You can see on the left, this is the second year using this website, SI Play. All the general information, schedule, so on and so forth is on there. You can look at your schedules online. In the middle one there, going underneath the calendar and picking out your divisions and your team. I highly suggest that if you haven't, you go ahead and you download the SI Play app. You log into that same way you log into the website to your account. Then you will get a list of all your schedules. In this case, we're using one of the tournament teams, so you see they have a practice listed here. But since the Challengers doesn't have any practices, you will have just games unless you're on the Advanced Play Initiative. You'll also see on here that are items that are going on within the Little League. One thing us as the board want to make sure that everybody is connected to what's going on in the mainstream league, because we're part of it. Communication to the registered players are as follows. During the season, the league sends information to the managers and coaches. The managers are responsible for keeping in contact with the teams. I will always be available to be contacted directly for questions if a parent has an issue that needs to be addressed, but too much going on to be in but I have too much going on to be in contact with everyone. So please go ahead and contact your managers first if we have some issues, or it's not getting resolved, or the manager hasn't gotten to me, or so on and so forth. Then please feel free to contact me. Typically, when people ask questions of the managers or coaches, they get relayed that to me, and I relay the answers back to them. I would make sure that your account, that you accept all emails and text messages. This is in your profile on your account. If you want both parents or caregivers on the email list, they may need to be set up an account that we can link those players together. We do have players with different families, and so we can do certain things to help to make sure everybody's getting on the communication list there. If there's any issues, please contact me directly about that, and I'll be happy to help you out. During the season, we use our website to automatically send out emails and texts for canceled games because of weather or bad fields that goes to the whole league. Simply cancellations are no later than 2 hours before game time, as I mentioned. During the season, information on the Challenger, there'll be information on the Challenger website that goes to our Twitter page and our Facebook page. That's the Challenger, www.bllchallengers.org. Hopefully this will be moved to the BBSA site this year. I had tried to hope to do it last year, but timing just didn't work out. During the season, any communication to league fields that needs to make to the league would come from an email blast through the website. Typically, I'll note as Challengers information. The league does send out general information and web blasts, and so some people may not read that because they don't think it applies to them, even though it may be general information about fun stuff we have going on. But I typically mark that as a Challenger, so you know to try to make sure you read it. During the season, any non-internal league games, special games, I would be put contact direct with the parents sending them emails. Out of season, communications with email blast starting with Bartlett Little League Challenger Division or general information from Bartlett Little League. Website posts, which feeds to the Twitter page and Facebook page. We're also on Instagram. Another thing that we're very supportive of, and a lot of our players participate in, is Special Olympics. Here are just some of the groups. District 54 Schaumburg, School District 54 Elgin, Bartlett, South Elgin in some cases, Clearbrook, NWSRA, WESDRA, NISDRA, NESDRA, all participate in Special Olympic programs. They have different teams doing different things. If you're part of the Special Olympic program and you have events going up, please go ahead and do that. Miss your baseball games. We'll have some other games, but a lot of times you're trying to compete for your to go to a downstate competition, and we want you to participate in this. We're highly supportive of the program. If you do not know about Special Olympics and you'd be possibly interested in your player participating in one of the programs, you can contact myself at any time, and I'd be happy to put you in the right direction in regards to that. In my final comments through all this, I hope this has been okay for this year and trying to do it, communicating with you about our presentation here, doing it through a microphone and just going through the slides. But you are the Challenger Division's promoter, ambassadors, cheerleaders, and supporters. The Challenger Division will be happy to speak to any group, organization, or sponsors about the program. I would like to thank you for your time, for watching this presentation. If there's any questions, feel free to contact me at any time, and we'll see you on the ball fields. Thank you.